After World War II and as the Cold War began, the two global superpowers divided the Korean peninsula, previously occupied by Japan, along the 38th parallel. The Soviet Union occupied the north and the United States the south, creating two separate states. The Korean War began in 1950 when the North invaded the South, sparking a conflict that killed millions on both sides. A ceasefire was agreed in 1953, but no peace treaty was ever signed, meaning that technically North Korea, South Korea and their allies are still at war. Tensions flared up again in 1968 when Pyongyang captured the USS Pueblo, a US spy ship holding its crew captive for 11 months. Throughout the 1990s, however, both sides made efforts to normalize relations. Former US President Jimmy Carter visited Pyongyang in 1994, followed by then Secretary of State Madeleine Albright 5 years later. The two sides signed the so-called Agreed Framework, under which North Korea committed to freezing its nuclear program in exchange for heavy fuel oil. Implementation of the agreement, however, did not occur smoothly and came to an abrupt halt in the wake of the 9/11 attacks on US soil. In his 2002 State of the Union address, President George W. Bush labelled North Korea as part of an axis of evil, accusing it of violating the agreed framework.
Our second goal is to prevent regimes that sponsor terror from threatening America. North Korea is a regime arming with missiles and weapons of mass destruction while starving its citizens.
In response, North Korea branded Bush as a tyrant worse than Hitler and a political imbecile. The country conducted its first nuclear test in 2006, followed by another one 3 years later. In an effort to soothe tensions, however, the US took North Korea off its list of state sponsors of terrorism in return for controls on Pyongyang's nuclear installations. But talks collapsed in 2010 after North Korea ordered international monitors to leave the country. Throughout his presidency, Barack Obama pursued a policy of strategic patience towards North Korea, trying to avoid war at all costs.
We are committed to the preservation of peace and stability in Northeast Asia and on the Korean Peninsula.
Despite international sanctions, North Korea has been able to develop and expand its ballistic and nuclear programs, saying the entire US territory is now within range of its intercontinental ballistic missiles. Donald Trump, meanwhile, has threatened Pyongyang with fire and fury, sparking a war of words between the two countries.